Hi everybody. Today I want to talk to you about the next generation cloud platform monitoring solution. And I want to start off with talking about a few of the challenges that we are currently facing, like the day 2 challenges you have with OpenStack, and then looking at some possible solutions to counter that. So my name is Dirk. I work at a company called Dynatrace. We are a world market leader at application performance monitoring. And due to the rise of dynamic container and cloud environments throughout the last years, we just found the necessity to kind of expand our monitoring support to those platforms as well, just to provide you again with a full stack monitoring approach. So there is my email address and my Twitter handle. If you want to reach out later, just take a picture or notice, remember it. We also have a booth down in the marketplace, so if you're interested in what we're doing with OpenStack and monitoring as a whole, just go down and check it out. It's booth B26 down at the marketplace. So a little story about me. So when I started to learn OpenStack, so this is a picture from my work desk. So I literally have an OpenStack cluster standing on my desk. And I started with, let's say, a 3-node cluster I set up by hand. Everybody says don't do that, because if you want to run it in production size, you wouldn't do it manually. But I want to learn about all of the internals for OpenStack and how it actually works. So I went to the Valley of Tears and did that. And I learned actually a lot. And I also learned that it's pretty hard to troubleshoot OpenStack and kind of like to get to the grounds of when something's going wrong. And I was just wondering how, since there are many large companies out there that are running OpenStack in a large environment, and I was wondering what their approach to monitoring and getting insights into what is going on in the application and in the cloud platform is. So we know that the main drivers for OpenStack are usually saving money and being able to innovate faster and deploy your applications faster. And in combination with that, we also have these day 2 challenges, like I need to know what's going on in my OpenStack cloud platform, and I need to know if the performance is okay. Since OpenStack itself is actually a microservice application, you have to just monitor this application as well, just to be able to, get meaningful insights. Another thing you have to deal with is that there are large environments, and they're actually dynamically scaling. So you could have a service that actually only needs a few nodes in the morning, then scales up at noon because there is a load peak, and then just scales down again in the evening. And you kind of need, if you want to do monitoring in such environments, you need tools that actually can keep up with that fast-paced development and application lifecycle. Next thing we already talked about that is scale. So if you're monitoring applications that have several thousand nodes, you would probably want to follow an automated approach to monitoring because, it would take a lot of time to do that manually, right? So there are, let's say, several possibilities. On the one hand, you could only focus on monitoring the OpenStack. Is my cloud doing okay? Are the services running fine? But what then could you be actually missing? So what you're usually running on OpenStack is an application that you're generating revenue with somehow. You're offering a service. You offer, let's say, e-commerce solution to your end customers. And you would also want to know if there's something going wrong in your application. So if you only focus on OpenStack, you would actually miss everything that's on top of that. So if you want to get a holistic overview of your application environment, you would actually need to monitor the applications as well, the end user experience, just to get a complete picture of what is really going on, right? Because if you're not focusing on the right, let's say, technologies, let's say, if you only focus on OpenStack, you will probably miss something that's going on in other disciplines like application end user experience. Your end users could be running away from your applications because the response time is getting up and your revenue drops. So there are studies that actually indicate that. And your OpenStack cluster could still do fine. So if you want a holistic overview, you need to monitor your applications as well. That's with the focus of the technologies. Then again, it's the focus of the people. So it's like DevOps all over again. So at DevOps, it was application team against operation teams and just get them in the same boat and collaborate. And now with OpenStack, Since it's a cloud platform, you actually have additional insights too in comparison to, for example, AWS. But you also need to maintain it on your own if something breaks. We have another, let's say, operations team that operates the OpenStack cloud platform. And you would need to get them in the same boat again. So just that they're working all on the same page. Because if the two guys that are bailing out the water are drowning, then these two other guys are definitely going down too. So then you should actually ask yourself, do you have the right tool for the job? You would need a monitoring solution that actually provides you with all of the insights that I just talked about. And what you would actually need is that regardless of which team or which role looks at the data, it just gets the information it needs. So you would need a single tool that gathers all of the information and provides different views, let's say for your operations team and a different view for your application teams. Just the truth, yeah, there should only be one single source of truth. And it should also be war room suitable, so several teams looking at the same application for finding out what's going wrong is easier than each team using its own tool and then playing the blame game and be like, he was it, no, it's the operation team's fault. Sorry, I don't mean you personally. And yeah, so what you actually need is you need a holistic overview of your application environment, from user experience to application level, down to the cloud platform, and you need to monitor all aspects of that. Because as Alan Clark from SUSE and Mark Cullet for the OpenStack Foundation told us in a few talks earlier, cloud platform is only going to be there in a few years. Nobody's going to talk about it. It's the de facto standard. And then you're actually back to making your applications fast and then optimizing your application and your end user experience again. So if you're trying to look forward, you would actually need to have a monitoring solution that supports that. And what are the tools we have right there? So you could, for example, for log management, use the Elk stack, which is a combination of Elasticsearch, Log/Kibana. It does analysis of your log files and just alerts you if there is a certain pattern or if there are too many errors in your log files. Then there's system monitoring tools like Nagios, which do like system resource utilization monitoring and provide you with a lot of alerts. And I've actually been at the operator meetup where people were openly discussing about a certain set of Nagios alerts that you want to discard by default. So I find that very hilarious to set up a monitoring solution, then to, in the second step, deactivate half of it by default. So, but that's, yeah. And there are also combined approaches like Monasca. So Monasca does log analysis and metrics analysis as well. So, but all of these solutions don't kind of like approach the application or the end user experience, right? And yeah, that's actually where Dynatrace comes into place. So if you want to learn what we are doing with OpenStack and with monitoring your application and your end user experience, please feel free to check us out at the marketplace, booth P26. Thank you very much.